Welcome. Congratulations to all of you that have taken time out of your busy day to be here. I'm honored to have you here. For those of you that took the time to be here, I promise to make this extremely valuable. My name is Sean Murphy. I am the Senior Vice President of Growth for eXp Commercial. I came to eXp in 2021, only 3 short years after I wanted to be at eXp. I had a real estate office in Southern California, and we were trying to sell it. And it's not as easy as you might expect, especially when there's new brokerage in town. They're offering a better cap, more reasonable fees, a nationwide network, and they did not have to close down because of the pandemic. So the virtual platform is what appealed to me and a large number of the agents in my office. No one wanted to buy an overpriced brick and mortar, and the health department wouldn't let us go in it. So after the COVID restrictions were lifted, we sold it for a fraction of the original asking price, and I immediately moved my license to eXp. The one thing you're going to notice right away is that the leaders of this company have been top producing agents and advisors. There are no theoretical scientists running eXp. We've been on the front lines with you, selling property and building brokerages and real estate businesses right alongside of you. When our founder, Glenn Sanford, says, our model was designed to withstand varying market conditions, and we continue to have the most agent-centric model in the industry, it's because he designed it from the agent's point of view. Never once has Glenn said, let's put the company first. So, little background, I spent a bit of time in the Navy as a rescue swimmer in a helicopter squadron. Many people took away a lot of very important lessons from the military, but every service member took away one very, very important lesson. I've made it the principle of my life. There are no secrets to success. It's the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. Well, I'm here today to help you with the preparation. The hard work's going to be on you, and the failure, unfortunately, is inevitable. So I also kind of follow Enzo Ferrari's statement that second place is just the first loser. So keep that in your back pocket. The trick to success is taking the first step, no matter how small. I know agents and advisors that will not discuss eXp with their best agent buddies or even licensed family members. So let's get going. Welcome to eXp's Masterclass on the Growth Blueprint, Mastering Commercial Brokerage Success. This Masterclass is designed to give you a clear understanding of eXp's commercial value proposition, how to partner with an eXp commercial advisor to expand your business, and most importantly, how to leverage the best resources to grow your real estate business and attract more agents. The course combines a brief introduction to eXp Commercial, some attraction training, and an in-depth look to what we're doing to build eXp Commercial for the future. My personal belief is that if an agent is uncomfortable with a listing presentation, they're probably not going to do many listing presentations. Likewise, if an agent is uncomfortable explaining eXp's value opportunities and propositions, they simply will not participate in agent attraction or revenue share. Knowledge is power. Let's talk about eXp's commercial value proposition. Well, we have a unique one. What is a unique value proposition, or a UVP? It's a clear statement that describes the specific benefit or advantage a product or service offers to customers, setting it apart from its competitors by highlighting what makes it unique and valuable in the market. Essentially, it answers the question, why should I choose your company or your product? Later on, we'll discuss how to develop your own unique value proposition and how to attract to eXp. Our most popular value proposition is You can see it on the screen. eXp's Commercial Interstate License Portability Program. That's a long statement. This is an eXp commercial program that allows you to conduct commercial real estate sales and business brokering across state lines. I need to point out, not all states. Not all states, but the vast majority of them. The states here in dark blue represent what we call turf states. They do not allow you to be involved in real estate transactions in any way, shape, or form unless you are licensed in that state. That means, negotiating with the principals, writing contracts, dealing with the lenders or the appraisals. So you can always refer a transaction to a top eXp advisor in that state, or I always say, get licensed in that state. You would be amazed at the reciprocity for licensing that goes on inside of the United States. If you're in Florida, you can easily get a Georgia license. You can get a license from Wisconsin. You can get a license for Illinois. So you need to look around at the license portability program. You need to look around at each state and what they do for license reciprocity. The Interstate License Portability Program allows an eXp commercial advisor to co-broker a transaction with the eXp designated commercial broker in another state. The commercial broker will sponsor the deal in that state. We call it co-brokering. And when it closes, there's no referral fee paid by the advisor. This allows you to keep more money in your pocket when serving your clients that invest across the country. This simply cannot be done at an ordinary independent or franchise brokerage. Sorry, drying up a little bit. This definitely cannot be done with residential brokerages. So if you're looking to write a deal from California to Nevada in the residential brokerage, you will have to have a license in that state, or you'll need to refer it to another top eXp agent in that state. Well, most of the other companies, restrict your business by arbitrary franchise areas or state lines, or even worse, some executives in a closed room who make a deal with the top producing agent and then tell all the other agents and advisors in the office that they can't do business in that area. It is an excluded area. eXp Commercial does not do that. We allow you to build borderless businesses across the United States. I like to use the statement from our CEO, Leo Perea. We're not in the franchise business. We're in the broker business. We are the first of its kind mega broker ever. We invented this category. And he said that on TV. So he means it. Most other brokerages have more in common with a fast food franchise than they do with a brokerage. So that's our first value proposition. And if you're talking to commercial advisors who are looking to join eXp, because commercial investors do not restrict themselves geographically, whether they're investing in EBITDA, whether they're financing debt or investing in properties or multifamilies, they don't care about state lines. They don't care about franchise areas. They want the best deal. They want the ROI. They want the cash flow. Your job using eXp's national platform is to find them the best deal. So our second value proposition is our alignment with eXp Realty. Partnering with the largest, most successful real estate brokerage in the world has its advantages. Let's put that into perspective. eXp Realty has 80,000+ agents. Many commercial advisors will partner with a single office or even a regional brokerage to get the opportunity to gain referrals and or disseminate their listings or requirements to a few or even several hundred residential real estate agents within their brokerage or organization. Imagine having the opportunity to gain commercial referrals from 80,000 plus residential real estate agents in 27 countries. I recently heard this and I want to use as an example. A couple of months ago, the government was going to impose the TCPA legislation. That's the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. What would you do if they imposed that? And it's still on the table, they're just rewriting it. What would you do if you were prevented from calling owners or prospective clients because of the Telephone Consumer Protection Act? Now, look at the company you're currently affiliated with. Do they have the ability to disseminate your listings or buyer requirements to a sufficient number of people to sustain your business? This isn't preparing for the maybe future. This almost happened 2 months ago, and it's still being discussed. eXp has 80,000 plus real estate agents. Multiply that times the number of contacts you have in your sphere, or they have in their sphere. Well, how do we do that? And that's a great question. Well, fortunately, 3 really smart guys in 2010 at Columbia University attempted to estimate the average size of an individual's network. They used surveys and statistical calculations, and what they found was the average or mean network size for all those people that were surveyed was 611. That was 10 years ago. Imagine with today's widespread adoption of smart devices. I mean, 10 years ago, the iPhone only came out in 2009. This study came out in 2010. So imagine how big that number is now. But let's just say it's 611 contacts per agent or advisor. I personally have 14,580 in my phone, but we're going to go with 611. That gives you a potential audience at eXp of 48,800,000 potential commercial leads and viewers. It's important to understand eXp's scale and size. It's not only crucial to your business, but also greatly impacts your attraction potential. Look at where we are at eXp Commercial today in comparison with the largest real estate company in the world, eXp Realty. Well, eXp Residential hit 466 agents 4 years into being in business. Glenn opened it up in 2009. 4 years later, 466 agents. I know how hard that is. I've built a similar sized residential real estate brokerage. It's an immense task, and that was fantastic that it happened. eXp Commercial, in their first 4 years, had 720 advisors. Not double, but pretty darn close. eXp Realty was in 35 states at the 4-year mark, as well as parts of Canada. eXp Commercial is in all 50 states, looking to expand into Canada and international. eXp Real was not part of the NASDAQ. eXp Commercial was part of the NASDAQ day one, thanks to EXPI Holdings. EXPI World Holdings made that a possibility for the commercial. In almost every metric, eXp Commercial is ahead of eXp Realty on the productivity curve. Why is that? Well, we have the cheat codes. We have the ultimate cheat codes. We have the number one founder in real estate and the number one CEO following the exact same blueprint for success. And fortunately for you, eXp Commercial still eXp Commercial who? Although eXp Residential is very well known across the country in the housing market, there's still vast areas of the country that have never heard of eXp Commercial. Wow. You just discovered eXp in 2014. How many times have you dreamed of that? Raise your hand if you've ever contemplated going back in time and capitalizing on a great investment. Well, here it is. If you think about it, eXp Commercial is on the same productivity curve as eXp Realty. You would be joining this company a few years before our largest rev share partners joined eXp Realty. So the third and amazing value proposition at eXp is the leading financial model for commercial. We're setting new trends. Traditional commercial real estate companies have offices, administration, company marketing, research, and a wide variety of other expenses. In an analysis of eXp versus its competitors, it was done a while ago, but eXp was 19 times more profitable than its closest brick and mortar competitor and had 3 times the cash flow. I know you'd all like me to dive into eXp's corporate P&L, but we're going to focus on your business and attraction efforts. eXp has 3 revenue advantages available to every active eXp advisor and agent. We're going to discuss commercial fees. eXp Realty splits and fees can be found on the exprealty.com website. Click Join eXp and then scroll down to get the explained presentation. We're going to discuss commercial right now. If you want eXp Realty's explanation, go to Get the eXp Explained Presentation. Let's see here. So, first benefit that an advisor has at eXp is that they're on an 80-20 split that caps at $20,000. $20,000 paid to eXp. In other words, when you hit $100,000 in commission, you're done paying a split to eXp for the rest of your anniversary year. Most other commercial firms are on a permanent or perpetual split. This adds up to huge company dollar fees. Each transaction, let's go here. Each transaction has a $250 broker review fee. We do a lot of interstate co-brokering, multi-step leases. They're a lot more intricate than a residential transaction. So we have a $250 broker review fee on every transaction. We also have a $100 risk management fee that caps at $1,000. So after 10 full transactions, your risk management fee would cap at $1,000. Once an advisor hits their cap, they pay $250 after cap transaction fee. So if you're to add up all the fees after you hit your cap, which in commercials, usually 1 or 2 transactions, you would only pay $600 per transaction. That'd be a $250 broker review fee, a $100 risk management fee, and a $250 after cap transaction fee. eXp does have, eXp does have a monthly fee. eXp Commercial has a monthly fee of $500. But for that, we've made it hugely valuable to our advisors. You get CoStar's national platform. So you can look at properties and do valuations across the country. You get Build Out Showcase, currently with a light CRM. You get AIR commercial real estate forms for all 50 states. You get SkySlope document storage for commercial. You have Canva Enterprise for doing your marketing and designing, and our marketing department puts in the templates and logos and custom material in there for you to use if you would like. You get discounts for Regus Cowork Office Space, Crexi, and LoopNet. I would also like to point out that eXp Commercial has a financial structure for domestic partnerships, self-organized groups, and standard groups with reduced caps for group members. We'll be tackling the details of team structures in another masterclass. That's a whole class in itself. The next revenue source available to all active eXp advisors is revenue share. Well, I went the wrong way on that one, so we're going to have to come back to that. Revenue share is a program that eXp agents, while paying cap, let's just imagine you paid $1 to eXp, half of that is going to go to eXp, and half of that is going to go to the revenue share program. 50% of every cap dollar collected goes back to the advisors that sponsored that person into eXp. This is a 7-level revenue share program that rewards the sponsors up 7 levels from the sponsee. Revenue share is the definition of John D. Rockefeller's quote, "I would rather earn 1% off 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts." I would also like to point out that eXp has an excellent healthcare program that saves an average of 60% off market rates. Imagine saving $6,000 to $8,000 every year off your healthcare policy. That alone would have been a $22,000 savings for my family. Now, we also have a very lucrative stock equity program. Every producing agent and advisor at eXp is an owner in this company. There are 4 ways, well, actually 5 ways to earn ownership in eXp. Let's put them up here. Let's see, there we go. You'll receive $200 in stock when you close your first transaction each anniversary year. Boom, you're an owner. First transaction. You receive another $400 in stock when you hit your cap each anniversary year. That's hitting the $20,000 company dollar. That happens at $100,000 of gross commission to yourself. You hitting icon status will earn you $20,000 in stock. There are 2 ways to hit icon status at eXp commercial. You can hit your cap and do 20 additional full transactions, which would equal $5,000 in after cap transaction fees. At that point, you would be eligible for Icon Award, where you can receive $20,000 in stock. You can also do $500,000 in gross commissions and close a minimum of 5 transactions. That also qualifies you for the Icon program. You'll receive $400 in stock for every advisor or agent that names you sponsor when they close their first transaction. Finally, you can purchase stock at a 5% discount using up to 5% of your commission through our agent equity program. So there's a lot of ways to get ownership in this company. And I know many people that I think 80% of eXp opts into the equity purchase program. I myself have done that. It's an excellent way to build wealth passively. All of these things happen as a result of you doing the same thing you do right now. You're going to close a transaction. You're going to hit your cap. You're going to hit Icon. You're going to ask your friend to join. So we're not asking you to step outside your comfort level, maybe a little. And that's what we're going to talk about now. Let's talk a little bit about upping your real estate game by adding an eXp commercial component to your tool belt. I already told you eXp has 80,000 plus agents. Well, they also have 4,500 plus teams. How many of these teams or agents have commercial partnerships? I'm going to approach the first part through the view or through the lens of a commercial advisor. This is an excellent opportunity to build a lead source outside of your normal sphere. It also allows you to build a referral pipeline with a residential agent or team that you know, like, and trust. If you have a residential partner in your world, you'll be more prepared to make the referral connection and collect the referral money from a residential transaction. So build that relationship, make it strong, talk to each other about your value propositions and what you offer so that you can each refer people to each other. It can also give you access to events and networks that'll further build your contact pipeline. I can refer to the earlier statement about eXp's sheer size and the number of potential contacts that you're currently ignoring. Now, so look at this through the lens of a residential agent. The highest hourly rate for your time is a real estate referral. You get great net profit and you do little, if anything, to get the check. As a residential real estate agent, what's your unique value proposition? For most agents, it's I sell houses and I'm pretty good at staging and I know a few lenders. And that's not unique and it's not really a value proposition. Tell me which agent you would hire or give more consideration to based on the two following statements. I'm a neighborhood specialist. The second statement, our professional team can help you with selling your home, commercial investments, and business brokering. We're the one-stop shop for your real estate and real estate investment needs. Co-marketing with a commercial advisor can lower your advertising and marketing costs, or just make you look a lot more like you know what you're doing. How many times have you heard a friend or family member say that their dream was to own a certain business? Finally, you can partner with that commercial business broker. And when you run into those dreams, you have a referral partner that can take care of them. Finally, you should see the attraction conversion on independent and franchise commercial agents. They haven't seen anything like this. Once you explain the financial model and the accessibility to the residential leads, it's like being at eXp in 2014. So let's get a little bit into attraction. Figuring out what to say is 99% of the problems. If you had something intelligent to say or something worked out to say, it would be easier. You have to start somewhere, and that somewhere is us.exprealty.com. Again, that is us.exprealty.com. And you're going to click on the Explore tab. Your first step in agent attraction is to learn the rules. The person who best understands the rules and the best practices at tips and tricks will win at the highest level in agent attraction. Remember, I read everything I could about eXp online before I even joined. After learning the ins and outs of the rules, it's script time. I know real estate's full of them, but they work, or I wouldn't use them. I'm not asking you to do agent attraction. Stay in your lane, do real estate, close transactions, help people. But when that help is helping them get to a better company or a better model, or even working in conjunction with them, you need to have a couple of scripts. Let's start off with the 30-second elevator pitch. I'm sure you've heard it. Hey, what's your 30-second elevator pitch? Mine's actually 43 seconds. I'll give it to you right now. What if you could write contracts and represent investors or business opportunities across the country with no referral fees on your co-brokered deals? What if you only paid an 80-20 split that capped at $20,000 with the ability to get the whole $20,000 back when you did 5 deals and banked $500,000 in gross commission income? You get stock equity in the largest real estate company in the world just by doing the transactions you're already doing. You get residual income from every producing agent that you sponsor into the company, and that pay tree goes down 7 levels. You get industry-leading technology and amazing broker support for all of North America and 27 other countries. I found that. Do you want to know more? That's it. I found that. Do you want to know more? Well, if I would have joined when I wanted to, I would have probably said this 10,000 times. I've said it at least 1,000 times. So the next thing you're asking yourself is, what do I say if they don't ask about eXp or I'm calling them? This script will get you going on teams and independent brokerages. I'm using this as an example because teams and independent brokerages don't usually have franchise obligations. Be aware, some teams and independent brokerages still have contractual obligations that may prevent them from moving to eXp. It's not your fault. It doesn't diminish your friendship or how often you talk to them. Franchises can be tricky and definitely not the low-hanging fruit, so this script isn't for them. Ready? Here we go. Hello, Joe. Have I caught you at a bad time? My name's Sean, and I'm calling you because my company has recently created some incentives that could financially benefit a team like yours. If I could set up a meeting with the head of commercial for the largest real estate company in the United States, would that be worth 30 minutes of your time? Even if you just use the information as intel to help understand what's out there. That's it. Wait for a yes, wait for a no. People that don't want to know about their largest competitor or feel that they know it all probably aren't a cultural fit for you and your organization anyway. I've had people say, no, I'm dyed red, I'm dyed blue, I'm dyed purple. I'm never going anywhere. They're still bypassing the opportunity to gain a ton of knowledge about other companies. So move on. Use this script. It's 21 seconds long. You can remember it in a mirror in about 5 minutes. So let's imagine you run into an associate that actually asks you about eXp. That's the dream scenario, my friend. Your first inclination is to want to tell them everything you know or have ever heard about eXp Commercial. You're excited, they're asking for it, and you're going to give it to them. You're going to drench them in the greatness that is your company. Don't do that. Although it seems counterintuitive, the less you talk about your company, the better. You want to ask them the questions like, what's going on in your business and in your life? What's instigating that question? Why do you ask? Strangely enough, the proper way to introduce somebody to eXp is not to introduce them to eXp. What I mean by that is you should have somebody else do it. Somebody else does the explained. It's called a third-party validation. It's specifically designed to put the person in the business state of mind, ready to absorb information, and keep your relationship with the prospect intact. Let me give you a little script that you can use when somebody asks for you to explain eXp. I've been here a long time. I've done a lot of eXp explains, and I've talked to a lot of prospects. It still works better if I have someone else explain eXp, especially if I'm intending to be their sponsor. Here's the script. You know, Joe, do the finger, go, you know, Joe, I'm going to do you a favor. I have a friend named Becky that can explain to you in 15 minutes what would take me an hour and a half, and I would miss a whole bunch of stuff. I believe it's so important to you and your business and your family that you get this right the first time. Because if I got it right the first time 6 years ago, we'd be having this conversation on my private jet. So as a personal favor, would you allow me to get Becky and us on a three-way conversation? That's it. You can find out right there if they're interested, not interested. They may have more questions, but that's what you're going to stick with. You want to get them on a three-way conversation. If you have time, be sure to check out Casey Counsel Jiha's video on third-party validations. For whatever reason, when the information comes from a third party, it's more effective. Third parties, they come off as a figure of authority. I mean, if you're willing to recommend them, they must be something special. It also puts your prospect in that business state of mind, ready to absorb information. Use your upline and their experience to help grow your downline. If you don't have an upline that can do this for you, third-party validations, feel free to contact the growth team. Have a prospect. If you have a prospect that needs closing, just send an email to growth@expcommercial.com. We'll set up an appointment with you and your prospect and help you close them. These appointments are not a substitute for you knowing everything about eXp. It's simply a way for them to meet leadership, for them to answer some questions about structures or fees or something they don't understand about the company. Be sure to take the time to educate yourself about the company, because They want to see you as the professional. Just like a listing agent, just like a buyer's agent, you have to be seen as an industry professional. So we're going to wind this up. I'm going to say this again. There's no secret to success. Take the first step. I'm here to help you with the preparation, the closing, any questions you might need, but the hard work is on you. And failure, unfortunately, is inevitable. Don't take it personal. This is not the right place for everyone. If it was, we would have 1.54 million agents and advisors at eXp. If you keep taking that first step every single day, I promise you, you'll wake up one day with a business that's bigger than you imagined. Thank you, and hopefully welcome to eXp Commercial. I thank you for your time today.